They crashed in the mountains, but what they did to survive shocked the world. Flushed 72 days. No food, no help, and yet, they survived. Fearful, it started as a normal flight. A group of young athletes, full of life, laughter, and dreams, boarded a plane with excitement in their hearts. They were heading across the mountains, unaware that this journey would change their lives forever. The sky was calm at first. Everything felt routine, safe, predictable. But then, everything changed. The plane entered the Andes Mountains, one of the most dangerous and unpredictable regions in the world. Turbulence began to shake the aircraft violently. Passengers looked around in fear. And within seconds, disaster struck. The plane lost control. Wings tore apart. Metal screamed as it ripped through the air. Then, impact. A violent crash into the frozen mountains. Silence followed. But it wasn't peace. It was shock. Those who survived opened their eyes to a nightmare. Snow stretched endlessly in every direction. The wreckage of the plane was scattered across the mountains like broken pieces of hope. Some were injured, some were gone, and the survivors were left with one terrifying realization. They were completely alone. No civilization, no shelter, no food, only cold, endless, deadly cold. Cold face. In the beginning, they believed help would come. They searched the wreckage for supplies, small chocolates, a few bottles, anything they could find. They rationed every bite, every drop, hoping it would last until rescue arrived. They turned the broken body of the plane into a shelter. Covered themselves with whatever they could find. Stayed close together to share warmth. Days passed. Then came the moment that shattered everything. Through a small radio, they heard the truth. The search had been called off. No one was coming. Fearful, hope was gone. Hunger slowly took over. At first, it was just discomfort. Then pain. Then unbearable suffering. The human body weakens quickly without food. Muscles shrink. Energy disappears. Thoughts become slow. And in that frozen wasteland, there was nothing to eat. No plants. No animals. Nothing alive. Just snow and death. Then came the hardest decision any human could ever face. A choice between life and death. To survive, they turned to the only source of nutrition available. The bodies of those who had died in the crash. It wasn't a choice made easily. It wasn't done without pain. It was survival. Pure, desperate, survival. Days turned into weeks. The cold never left. The hunger never stopped. The fear never faded. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, nature struck again. A massive avalanche buried their shelter. Snow crashed down like a wall of death. Some were suffocated, others trapped in darkness for days. The survivors were now even fewer, even weaker, even closer to giving up. But something inside them refused to die. Hope. A small, fragile hope. But enough to keep going. Finally, after weeks of suffering, a decision was made. They would not wait for rescue anymore. They would find it themselves. 2 survivors stepped forward, weak, starving, freezing, but determined. They began climbing the mountains. Towering peaks surrounded them, massive walls of ice and snow that seemed impossible to cross. Each step was a battle. Their bodies screamed for rest. Their legs trembled, their vision blurred, but they kept going, because stopping meant death. For days, they walked. Through storms, through freezing nights, through exhaustion beyond human limits. Until finally, something appeared in the distance. A sign of life. A man on horseback. Civilization. Rescue. Loudly crying. After 72 days in one of the harshest environments on Earth. They had made it. Rescue teams returned to the mountains. The remaining survivors were saved. But the world was left in shock. How did they survive so long? How did they endure such extreme conditions? The answer was simple. They refused to give up. This wasn't just a survival story. It was a story of the human spirit. of strength in the face of impossible odds, of hope, when there was no reason left to hope. Because when everything is taken away, when you are left with nothing but fear, pain, and darkness, the only thing that matters is this: will you give up, or will you fight to survive? Fearful, what do you think? Was this real or something supernatural? Fearful.